where it sort of all began for the Baptists and Judson in Rangoon. He and his newly married, his wife, newly married, sailed a couple weeks after their wedding to first to Calcutta, India, of course, en route. He and his wife and others became Baptists by studying the New Testament. And so when they got to Calcutta, they were baptized by a co-worker of William Carey, a man by the name of William Ward. But certainly they'd had no welcome in Calcutta. So they went ahead and planned to sail to Burma, but they were warned by the missionaries that associated with Carey there in Serampore, India, that there was no way that there was going to be any mission work begun in Burma and in Rangoon because of the Buddhists. The Burmese Buddhists wanted nothing to do with outsiders, much less outsiders sharing Christianity. So in 1813, Adoniram and Anne arrived in Rangoon, and they spent the next 3 years diligently working on the language, 12 hours a day, diligently learning the language. And in the end, it's interesting, Anne was more fluent than her highly educated husband, Adoniram. She picked it up quicker than he did. It was a difficult time. It was a time of trial. Eventually, after several years, Adoniram began to speak the language and set up a roadside thing called a zayat, where he would talk with people about the scriptures that were interested. And in 1817, his first convert, a logging man, a logger from the hill country, trusted the Lord and was baptized. His name was Rangoon. And so from 1813 for the next 10 years till the breakout of the war, when Judson was sent to prison, they saw a total of 18 converts saved. And they formed this small church here that's behind us. This is the location of the first church in Burma by the Judsons. And the name, as you can see there, is Unau Baptist Church. And so from that time forward, 10 years here, a printing press was brought over, and a missionary operated the printing press here in Rangoon. And for the first time ever, Christian literature was printed. Judson had finished his Gospel of Matthew, so the first thing printed was Matthew here and distributed in Rangoon. After the 10 years, of course, the war breaks out. Judson's sent to prison many hundreds of miles north. Soon after the close of that war, his wife Anne dies from the pressure and the stress and just the giving of herself to keep her husband alive. And then Judson moves back down south, but not to Rangoon, to an area a little further away. And providentially, that area is where the Burmese mission really begins to flourish. Of course, he went through a time of deep loss over his wife, but he didn't squander that time. He did take a step away from a lot of public ministry, but he finished the translation of the scripture, which they still use today. The church we were at on Sunday, just yesterday, opened up the Adoniram Judson translation of the Bible. And that's what the man preached through Isaiah 40, through the translation work that Adoniram Judson did. And the country here, the Christians absolutely love him because of that. So the first spot, this is the location of the first church in the Burmese mission. We'll just walk down the sidewalk here for a minute, show you a couple things. Now today, Rangoon, now Yangon, the city and its outlying areas, 9 million people. And talking to a national pastor, said you can pass out as many tracts as you want. They need tracks. They need John Romans. Said you can do it as much as you want. So we'll walk this way and just give you a quick view of some of what we see. Might notice here this street sign, I'm pretty sure that they got everything right except the A in the first letter. There's supposed to be an A after the S there, and so that would be, you know, a street named after me, St. Odan Street, so feeling comfortable right here now. And then this street down here. It is totally typical of thousands, hundreds or even thousands of streets that you see in the city. People everywhere, and they're out all the time, and they certainly need the Lord.